Hi everyone, and welcome to the Shrine of Anubis. If you're new here, welcome, and if you have been here before, welcome back and nice to see you again. So, for today's topic, I just hopped out of the shower. In the shower, okay. As you can see by the title of this video, we will be talking about ashes from a loved one. Should you have them in your home or not? This is random AF because I was just taking a shower, and while I was in there, I was thinking, what can I talk about for today's video that is relevant for you and myself as well, because sometimes I have my own questions. So by talking about it with someone else, such as yourself, I can, I don't know, maybe come up with something that helps me to make better sense of things, if that makes sense. So while I was in the shower, I was thinking, and this sounds so awkward. I was thinking about Anubis and I was wondering, what can I talk about for today's topic in the Shrine of Anubis? So, considering everything that has been going on recently for the past month, since tomorrow, the 21st, will be 1 month since Toby's passing, my brother's dog, which I considered my four-legged furry nephew, Toby, I've been thinking. Well, I always am thinking, but there's been a little bit of, I wouldn't say drama exactly, but sort of disagreements within the family. Oh, excuse me. Let me turn off my phone or put it on my lap. So, there's a lot of people in my extended family that we don't talk to. In a nutshell, we don't talk to anybody. Right now, my mom is just beginning to talk to her three sisters. One of them whom she doesn't really get along with too much. Long story. But the thing with extended families is that they're all very different from each other. There's the Catholic, there's the evangelist, there's the other one who doesn't give a shit about religion, which is us. There's others who are within the Christianity branch in some religious practice or another. They're all still within the Christianity branch. Some are way more stricter than others. Others are more fluid. Others are more open-minded. Others are super old school, and others don't give a fuck about the church or religion itself. And then there's others who don't believe in the church but are Catholic or whatever. So there's been this whole disagreement recently over Toby's passing due to my brother having his ashes in his home. And of fucking course, the church is going to tell you, oh, you should not have the ashes of somebody in your home. You should have it in a sacred place where they can rest in peace, like a cemetery, or in the church where we can pray for them and whatnot. And I respect everybody's different opinions, but you have to respect the will of the person who's about to move on. In this case, obviously, dogs can talk, but we are very sure that Toby would have preferred to stay with his owner, my brother. Why? In my mind, I interpret it this way. Toby always had abandonment issues. He would whimper and cry. I think like most dogs do, but he was actually something else. He would absolutely panic and cry and whimper, and he would not leave the door until my brother would get home. Again, it sounds like every other dog, so I don't know. But with Toby, we always were heartbroken because he always felt that either one of us was going to abandon him. So my brother decided to keep his ashes with him in his home because, first, it makes my brother feel better by keeping Toby around. Second, we have a slight guess that probably Toby would have loved to be with him anyways. And third, my brother is not exactly religious. He does follow the Kabbalah, so that's a whole different story, which I don't understand because I am unfamiliar with the Kabbalah. But he is not a fan of the church, in a nutshell. So, actually, none of us are. Not my mom, not my aunt, not myself, and not him. His fiance, I don't think so either. So we are pretty much open-minded. They have their own thing. My mom and aunt and myself have our own thing. But it's my mom and I who are the ones who are pagan within our tiny circle. So we all have different beliefs, but at the same time, we agree that having the ashes of a loved someone in our home isn't really something bad. You know why? Because I am the one who does not believe that when you cremate a person that they will haunt you in the afterlife. If this is what the person wanted, then of course feel free to do as they wish. And this is something that extended family doesn't really understand or doesn't want to understand, that we all have free will to do as we please. And so I guess where I want to get at here to answer the question, should you keep a loved someone's ashes in your home, yes or no? My answer to you, again, I will keep it vague, just like the previous video, I believe, but it depends. It depends on the will of the person. If the person tells you, oh, I want you to do this and that with my body, by all means, do as they tell you. You know why? Because to me, it's such a disrespect to not respect the will of the dead or of the person who's about to move on and is having their last wish or wishes. So in my case, in my opinion, what I would do, I would keep the ashes of the person with me. And I'll put myself, for example, here because I have talked about death with my family. They hate it. They are terrified of death, especially my mother and my aunt. They are super scared of death, especially my mom. But we have all talked about this because I have initiated the conversation, because I have an Egyptian god on top of my ass, not literally, but I have an Egyptian god of the dead over me, hovering over me, literally breathing over my neck. And I have to address the jackal in the room, so to speak. And death is something so spontaneous, so random, so quick. It can happen anywhere, at any time, when you least expect it. And then what are you going to do? What are they going to do with you? You didn't tell them, or they didn't tell you. Now either you or them are gone. Now what's going to happen? And that's where arguments ensue between family members. And so, unfortunately to them, to my family, I have had to talk to them about this topic before. We've spoken about it years ago now, and they have all agreed that they want to be cremated. My mother wants to stay with me and my brother. She wants her ashes divided, and my aunt doesn't give a fuck about her ashes because she knows that she will not be there anyways, so she doesn't care. However, both of them have agreed that when they both die, and my brother and I do not want to keep them with us any longer, to set them free. Whether it's on a tree or on the ocean, of course, if it's a certified place to do that, because you just can't toss ashes just like that anywhere. You have to have permission and know where exactly you can do that, from what I know. But that's what they have shared with me. I think my mom wants to write a letter of her will, not because she's rich, but I am assuming of her last wishes of what she wants to happen after she dies, which we have already spoken about, but it's always good to have it all written down in a letter. My aunt, I'm not sure exactly if she will have her own letter somewhere. I think she will, because my aunt is not exactly my aunt by blood. She's actually my brother's best friend from almost 40 years. And so, because we are not blood related, there is going to be issues when she passes on. And so, she has to leave a signed letter, I am assuming, giving us authorization of doing with her body as she wishes. Now, I'm not sure how exactly that works out, but this is something that I would love to address with a lawyer at some point. Hopefully not too far in the future, because again, death is unpredictable and I don't like surprises of that kind. So I want to make sure that I have everything set and ready in case something happens with any of them. And you're probably wondering, why are you talking so detached, so cold, and so clear and direct of what you want? Like, do you want your family to die? No, it's just that since I was a kid, I've literally, all I think about is death, because I have abandonment issues myself. So I would have nightmares every single night as a kid that my mom and aunt would die, or either one of them, and that I would be on my own with nobody to help me. So this is a trauma that I have had since I was a kid, losing my family. So I feel that with the years, I have become desensitized to the subject of death, I guess. And of course, Anubis came in 10 years ago, and it made things even creepier for me, but I guess I kind of got used to it with time, I guess. So I don't feel as sentimental about it, although I was kind of breaking up there. But I don't feel that overcome by emotions, if that's even a way of putting it, as I used to feel 5 years ago. So I can talk about it freely, especially because it's the Shrine of Anubis. And my brother's dog died a month ago tomorrow. So everything is fresh, and I feel that I am ready to talk about all of these things right now, because I feel that I have a clear mind. So when it comes to a person's ashes, though, going back to the main subject and topic of this video, it depends on whether the person wants to be cremated or not. Typically, though, many people choose to be cremated because of costs. This is something that we all have agreed upon. My brother wants to be cremated. He doesn't want people to waste money on him. My mom also wants to be cremated, and my aunt, because they also don't want things to be too costly. And of course, I also want to be cremated because I don't give a shit. And it's expensive to die and be buried, we just have to see things for how they are and look at them, from a logical lens, I would say. and say, hey, this is what could happen, this is an option, this is not, and this is why this isn't an option, and this is why this one is an option, and just clear things up. So, again, going back to the main topic or question for this video, should you keep in your home the ashes of your loved one, yes or no? It depends on the will of the person about to move on. Now, when it comes to a pet, because pets cannot speak, I would say it depends on how you feel about your pet. Typically, though, it helps to keep the ashes of the pet with you because you feel that comfort, that energy, that vibration, that union with you. Even though the person, including pet, is no longer there, it helps in some way, shape, or form to comfort the person during the grieving process. And so I feel that this is something that should be respected regardless of your belief systems, whether you believe in something or not, whether you are part of organized religion or not. It's common sense and it's universal to respect the will of a dying person. Of course, when it comes to pets or people that couldn't tell you what they wanted you to do with them if they moved on, that will be up to the person in charge of this other person or pet. So whether this person chooses to cremate the person, pet, or bury them, it's a bit more complicated because we don't have the opinion or authorization of the person that passed away. However, sometimes in life there are times where you will have no choice but to do something without knowing what the person actually wanted. And I've seen this happen so much. And so I know this probably won't help, but if you can relate to this, I wish I could make you feel better as to not feel guilty for not knowing what this person wanted before they moved on. If you can relate, if this has happened to you and you feel guilty because you never knew what they wanted and you had to make a choice, it's okay. It's okay. And second, the reason why it's okay, it's because in the end, it doesn't really matter what happens to the body, whether it's buried or cremated or turned into jewelry. I know I've seen some people do that. Apparently that's a thing. What matters is that you took action. That the person is in some way resting in peace and they were taken care of during this whole process of them moving on, leaving their physical body behind. And I wish I could say more about this, but I don't really want to open that can of worms in this video. It's already getting too long. But it doesn't really matter what happens to the body, whether it's buried or cremated. Remember, you create your own reality based on your thoughts and your way of being and your way of life and living. So don't get too carried away by religious beliefs of, oh, you should bury the person because cremation is bad and it's a sin and you will burn their soul and they will never rest in peace, because you're literally burning their soul away with cremation. Don't get too carried away with religious beliefs. Make sure you tune into yourself, to your heart, to analyze things from a logical point of view, especially if you have the thoughts and will of the person with you of what they want you to do with them. And if you're able to and you have the opportunity, do as they say. So if they want their ashes to be discarded somewhere in nature, do so. If they want to be around with you, do so. If you're someone who likes to impose your belief systems on others, please don't. Please don't. The most beautiful thing on this planet is that we all are individual beings where we can all think and do as we wish, of course, with consequences. So, why is that persistence of making someone else think like you do an issue for you? So, I'm going to ask you that if you are that type of person, to give the people around you space and to realize that they have a mind of their own, that they are grown-ups, that they know what to do, they take decisions, they take action on how they think and believe, and it's not up to you to control how they think and believe and live their life. And if you are on the other end of the spectrum, if you are the one who's getting these attacks or disagreements and you're kind of, feeling targeted because, oh, this person wants me to do this or that with my deceased loved one or this and that, stop them. You have a voice. You are a sovereign human being, okay? And you have your own voice, your own thoughts, your own beliefs, ideas. You have an ego. An ego, I would say, it's your personality. It's what makes you you. So do not lose yourself along the way of being spiritual just to fit in with other people by following what they want you to follow based on their ideas and belief systems. That's how you know that you are being not exactly manipulated. Maybe it depends on the case and the person, but it's someone definitely with an agenda who does not want you to think for yourself. This is why I try to do my best to keep neutral in some videos rather than telling you exactly what to do in certain cases, because it's not my intention to manipulate you on doing something simply because I just said it, if that makes sense. So to summarize this long video, should you keep the ashes of a loved one in your home, yes or no? In a nutshell, it depends on the person and their will. If they were very explicit on what they wanted, feel free to do as they wish. If you are unclear because they never told you and it happened out of nowhere, tune into your heart, talk it out with others, and see what do you all agree with. But most importantly, besides agreeing, what feels right in your heart? Typically, they communicate with us through our intuition. So their impressions, their energetic impressions can be translated in the form of feelings or thoughts. So you want to make sure that your heart and mind are open to receiving information from the other side. So with that said, when it comes to pets, it's a whole different thing. They cannot speak, like I mentioned, so you don't know exactly what they want. In Toby's case, it made my brother feel better to have him with him in his home. So Toby's ashes are in his home. He does not plan to bury him at all. And it makes him feel more comforted. It makes him feel safe and better to keep the ashes around in a corner of his home. He has him in the living room, high up on a bookshelf with his own little altar in there. Typically where Toby would be in the living room, either on the couch or close to the kitchen or on the rug right in front of the television. So it's a place where Toby used to be in a lot, so he keeps him there. And so even though pets are unable to speak and say what they want, it's up to you what you want to do with your pet. But by all means, do not let other people tell you if you should bury them or cremate them or get rid of the ashes or blah, blah, blah. Again, your pet, your rules, your home. So do not let other people guilt trip you. That's the thing here. A lot of people love to guilt trip others with religion, with religious beliefs and blah, 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 and all the bullshit. No. Remember, you have your own mind, your own heart, your own thoughts and feelings and emotions. So honor that free will that you have by doing what you want, by following your heart or your thoughts or a combination of both. And you can always accept feedback, but in the end, you are the one with a final choice. So to summarize the question, should you keep the ashes of a loved one in your home, yes or no? It depends. So, with that said, I hope that helped. Maybe let me know what you think down below in the comment section, what you think. Before I let you go as well, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell button and click on see all so that you can get all the notifications of any future uploads that I'll be making on this channel. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.